Hey guys, what's going on, dudes? It is David here. We are back with another video. Now, in this video, guys, we shall be discussing Demon Slayer. Now, when it comes to Demon Slayer, as you guys can see from the title, we're going to be talking about the best written character. Now, if you guys don't know what the best written character is, this is a character that basically can tell a whole story throughout the whole of the show. This is a character that can go from being hated at the beginning to being loved at the ending. That is a perfect kind of story. It's kind of like Itachi from Naruto. How everybody, if you didn't read the manga, you would not like Itachi from the beginning. But seeing everything Itachi did for Sasuke, everything Itachi did for the Leaf Village, Itachi was kind of one of the best well-written characters in terms of Naruto. But when it comes to the story of Demon Slayer, it's going to be kind of different because obviously Demon Slayer, it really has to go for like their main goal is to beat Muzan, and they have to deal with the 12 Kizuki going from the lower moons to the upper moons when the lower moons are basically just killed off. And then they have to go from upper 6, upper 5, upper 4, upper 4, and then we move on into upper 3. And that is the person that we're going to be talking about today. That is the demon known as Akaza. Because I want to say this right now. Akaza is one of the best written characters in the Demon Slayer story, and I've read the manga multiple times, and I can't tell you a character that is possibly more well written. Rengoku's up there. Kokushibo's up there. Even the one that I like the most, Shinobu, is up there as a well-written character in terms of her story. But if I gotta look at Akaza and I gotta look at the same thing that goes for Itachi and everything like this, Akaza, everything that Akaza did while he was a demon, he had for a certain reason. If we also look at the way Akaza does his style, he's more of a martial artist. And he gets that from when before he became a demon, when he was training in a dojo, when he started falling in love with a certain specific girl, and then the girl got killed. And then he kind of just went off and just killed the rest of the people that basically killed the girl that he was in love with. Muzan came in and was like, hey, won't you become a demon? Akaza became a demon. And since then, Akaza has just been I say this, even though he killed my boy Kyojuro Rengoku, trust me, I don't forgive him for that. You killed the boy Kyojuro Rengoku. He didn't want to at the beginning. He literally said, Rengoku, you are so strong. Become a demon, and we can have so many fights. But Rengoku was just that boy. Rengoku was just standing on business and said no. Akaza had no other choice, and he had no time to let Rengoku live. I'm pretty certain had Akaza wanted to, Akaza would have let Rengoku live because imagine if like Rengoku didn't have to die. Akaza would have definitely done it because he would have just continued loving the fight. He would have came back to find Rengoku every single time because he would be like, "All right, yes, we're gonna continue this fight. Let's see if we get better." Basically, kind of like a Dragon Ball type of thing. But no, he had to kill Kyojuro Rengoku, and then we get on to his fight with Tanjiro and Giyu. And when it comes to this fight is gonna definitely be one of the best fights I've ever seen in terms of anime, and it won't be coming out until I believe next year because I believe the first big movie for Demon Slayer is gonna involve Shinobu versus Upper Moon 2, Zenitsu versus Kaigaku, and possibly the lead up into Giyu and Tanjiro versus Akaza. But I want to say this: you know a character so well written when he refuses to give up to a certain point that the only thing that's able to kill him is himself. And that is what happened to Akaza. Akaza throughout the fight of Giyu versus Tanjiro, he's just going back and forth. He was actually putting up a very good fight. It was a 2v1, and he was still going good. And I'm gonna say this right now: had it not been for his own selfish thoughts, his own thoughts getting to him, Akaza would have beat Giyu and Tanjiro. I'm saying this right now. The legit reason why Tanjiro and Giyu actually won that fight is because Akaza killed himself. And the reason why Akaza killed himself is because they managed to turn back the story and make this guy into one of the most lovable characters because as Akaza is getting towards the end of this fight, he starts having memories of when he was a human and the girl that he fell in love with. And the girl that he fell in love with is kind of talking through his mind, saying, like, hey, it's okay, like, you don't really need to fight anymore. and Akaza starts like getting more of his feelings, and Akaza finally decides, like, hey, enough is enough. I don't really want to do this anymore. Like I feel like it's time to move on. Like so I can be with her on the other side. And Akaza decides to, even though he's about to regenerate his head, he decides to self-destruct his body. And Akaza, as Upper Moon 3, has been defeated. And that is just one of the things I love about Akaza in general, because it's just like you go from killing one of the most fan favorites that they made in a whole movie. They turned Rengoku into a fan favorite and then killed him. And Akaza, everybody hated Akaza for killing Kyojin and Goku, but for people that read the manga, people can't hate him because his reason for everything is he always has a purpose for everything. Akaza is the only one out of the upper six, upper five, upper four, upper three, upper two, upper one. He's the only one that doesn't eat women. And he can be so much stronger if he chose to eat women. But he chose this because it has to do with his past ties before he became a demon, and everything that he was before a demon has to do with him as a demon right now. Even his fighting style, if you notice when he's fighting against Rengoku, that is a snowflake type of thing. That has to do with him and the girl that he fell in love with, because she has snowflakes, I believe, as her earrings when it comes to it. So everything that he is as a demon has to do with its past before he became a demon. And what, like I just said, he's the only one out of the upper six that doesn't eat women. And him and Doma do not like each other. Well, at least Doma likes him. Doma tries to bother him, and Akaza was like, "I'm not trying to do this." The reason why Akaza and Doma have the biggest fights and Akaza doesn't like him is because Doma's main source of getting power is by eating women, and Akaza does not do that. So that's two complete opposites, and they're not going to go with each other, even though Doma's nonchalant. And if we notice something, when Doma dies in Demon Slayer, Doma gets his head cut off, but he has the opportunity to because he's one rank higher. He just doesn't do it because he's a nonchalant type of person. Akaza gets his head cut off and then grows it back, and then gets his head cut off the second time, and he's like, nah, I want to finally end this. She talked to him and she was like, yeah, it's about time this. And you get the flashbacks of Akaza's backstory, and you're just like, how can I really hate you, man? How can I really hate you? And I'm gonna say this right now: when it comes to the Demon Slayer movies, what they're gonna do for all three Upper Moons, I can guarantee you this: the one backstory that everybody's gonna be crying the most about is going to be Akaza. I can definitely tell you this. I'm gonna be as well, because I'm gonna be watching that movie and be like, "Damn, I want to hate you because you killed Rengoku, but I can't because I love you, bro." And literally, Akaza is my second favorite demon. My favorite demon being Kokushibo. But reading the whole Demon Slayer manga and just reading the backstory of Akaza, it just makes me love him even more. And that's the thing is, I hated Akaza in the beginning because I didn't read the manga and I didn't know what happened at the end. But now that I see the movie, him killing Rengoku, and see how it ends for him, I'm just like, it's a mixed emotions, and that is a story of why I think that is such a well written character. Somebody that you really can change the feelings and hearts of everybody. That is how you write a well written character. Akaza was hated in the beginning, and they turned out to love him in the end. And I'm very excited to see for a Demon Slayer movie when it comes out possibly next year. I know the first one's coming out this year, but next year the second one should be coming out. I'm very excited to see Akaza's fight, and I'm very excited for everyone to see Akaza's backstory. But considering it's going to be a movie, they're probably going to add a whole bunch of things that we haven't seen in the manga, and I'm going to be happy to see this. But in terms of like the stories of well-written characters, Itachi, like I said in Naruto, the best written character in Demon Slayer is Akaza.